So Afeni, man, break that down, man. Afeni suing Suge Knight.
Well, like I said, I mentioned earlier, in regards to the cease and desist order, but the crazy part about that is that it was all supposed to be this one big family, but it turned out to be nothing of the sort. And when Tupac died, Tupac was basically from the sale of All Eyes on Me. Tupac was owed for just the sales. He was owed $12 million, and all Tupac was owed $17 million because for every million that All Eyes on Me sold, Tupac was supposed to be advanced $1 million, right? So that 5 plus 12 is 17.
Right.
So when you deal with the numbers, but like I said, once again, Tupac didn't have a contract with Death Row. There was no accounting clause. So there was really no intention on actually taking care of and doing the due diligence as a label would normally do for their artists. And it's been proven that even though Death Row came back with some kind of accounting in regards to $7 million that they attributed to Tupac in all his videos and things like that, a lot of the stuff wasn't expenditures, should I say, related to Tupac's budget. Like they had Michel'le's Range Rover. You know what I mean? Her Range Rover was $51,000. That was covered by Tupac's budget. May rest in peace, brother Nate Dogg. His child support was paid for under Tupac's budget. And David Kenner, the lawyer, his Malibu mansion was paid for under Tupac's budget. So when you think about what Afeni did, being someone who was aware of the law, who had fought her own case when she was facing life in prison, being a Black Panther, she understood how the law worked. And so therefore, when her son died, she was prepared to defend his honor. Another thing, they had basically charged a RICO case, like a racketeering and running a criminal organization as far as Death Row, because nobody got paid. You know, basically, that was, you know, basically what the lawsuit had stated. And when Tupac tried to get paid, he basically was trying to get an accounting. They would never account to him. They had basically done a deal with a manufacturing company, clothing manufacturing company, without Tupac's knowledge, a company called Globex. And his mother actually had to sue them, and they actually settled with his mother for like $500,000. Like I said, once again, there was no contract. So you could basically do whatever you wanted to do, or they could do whatever they wanted to do against Tupac, and he really had no recourse other than to take him to court. So now you say, well, now you understand why the house, the Rolls Royce, the Mercedes Benz, and all of that stuff wasn't in Tupac's name. He was basically being pacified so that he would never really understand, like they thought he wouldn't understand, what it was that needed to take place. So therefore, Tupac, once again being the intelligent guy that he was, he fired David Kenner, got his own lawyer, and at that particular time when they did the deal with that clothing company, they were basically, Tupac was basically working on his own promotion deal with another clothing company, and he had a new lawyer for that. So like I said, once again, when you just think about the whole entire situation involving the legal suit against Death Row, his mother was so on point, and I think that's just one point in his career, or in his after his death, should I say, and in his career, that I think a lot of people don't really focus on. You know, everybody wants to focus on the folklore, yeah, Death Row, and who was the hardest and who was this. But it's a business, and it's the music business. And like I said, Tupac wasn't getting what he was supposed to be getting. He got taken advantage of, basically. You know what I mean? He was in a situation where he needed them, and like I said, the people that were supposed to really be there for him, and people say, well, yeah, well, you know, Suge bailed him out, but that he didn't bail him out on a buddy move or on a friend move. It was business. You know what I mean? And so, and like I said, once again, he didn't bail him out. That was another prevailing thing that most people don't understand. So when you get to the truth of the matter, you know, I think that's something that people should know.
So they was really paying Nate Dogg child support with Tupac budget.
Well, yeah, it was one payment. But like I said, this all came up in the court case involving what they were trying to find out so that they could get an accounting and get Tupac's royalties paid to his mother. Like I said, it was a bunch of stuff, jewelry and stuff that they had bought, you know, all of this stuff. It was a total of $7 million that was attributed to Tupac. They had, it was like $3 million in production costs and like $600,000 in studio costs that wasn't Tupac's. And like I said, for most people who don't really understand that or didn't have that or know this information, you know, just go check it out. Like I said, you know, this is not bad mouthing Suge or nobody like that. These are just simply, you know, the facts that came up in the court case. You know what I mean? And actually, Afeni actually won that case, you know, trying to protect her son's honor. And so therefore, like I said, when Dr. Dre left Death Row, it was all downhill from there. Like the guy who actually started, who was the anchor, who was the guy who Death Row was basically built around. And then you go to, you know, Harry O actually giving money to actually start Death Row. I don't think Harry O would have donated money or should I say invested money in Death Row if it wasn't for Dr. Dre. And he even had his own case, you know, involving them not really honoring an agreement that he had signed with them or his representatives had signed with them. So like I said, it was a prevailing thing. It's unfortunate. And like I said, it's good to know that that his mom, you know, basically handled that situation like a loving mom should. You know, I think that's very important for the historical facts of what needed to take place. She did that. And like I said, you know, may Afeni rest in peace, Pac rest in peace. And yeah.